The ongoing battle between Emily Dickinson and religion takes, perhaps, its most subversive turn yet. Welcome to Strip Cover Lit, where we squeeze the bigger picture out of literature. I'm Adrian Ford, and we are here for another poetry discussion, which will appear, of course, in two separate playlists here on the channel. Number one being the poetry discussion playlist, and number two being the Emily Dickinson playlist. The poem in question today is known as Dust is the Only Secret, and it reads as such. Dust is the only secret, death the only one you cannot find out all about in his native town. Nobody knew his father, never was a boy, hadn't any playmates or early history. Industrious, laconic, punctual, sedate, bold as a brigand, stiller than a fleet, builds like a bird, too. Christ robs the nest, robin after robin smuggled to rest. Now, it, it sort of smacks you in the face at the end there, doesn't it? We're talking about death, we're building a character, and then all of a sudden, something that even if you. So, Christ robs the nest, robin after robin smuggled to rest. If you were inclined to be in the camp of a Christian, this would be something you just have to acknowledge, right? This is the natural world. It happens all around you. There's no there would be no argument against this because the argument would not present itself as necessary. This is just part of the clockwork of the world as we have it. Death happens. Man has domain, man, quote unquote, has domain and has had domain since the Garden of Eden. If you have domain over something, well, those birds, it's unfortunate. You don't want to see it, but it happens. Okay, so fine. Wherever it ends, the poem ends. But how did we get here? How did we get here? Which, by the way, robs the nest, empty tomb. Dust is the only secret, death the only one you cannot find out all about in his native town. Okay, so dust is the only secret, but death is the one that you can't find out all about. So basically saying, in my opinion, I think that this is a little bit of a difficult coding to get through here, but dust is the only secret, death the only one you can't find about, to me, says there is nothing in that past. The mystery part of it is not real. Dust is the only secret, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. There is no secret, it's just the natural world. And then Emily Dickinson goes on to build a character you cannot find out all about in his native town. Well, where is Death's native town? Nobody knew his father. Okay, so this does suggest that there was a father. There had to have been a father, right? Otherwise, what are we talking about with the chicken and the egg? Unless it's not personified. He never was a boy, hadn't any playmates or early history. So in these first two stanzas, what we're getting is a negation of the character of death, setting it up as a natural occurrence. And then this is the interesting turn to me. What we have in this third stanza builds the character that we do not see before. Never had any playmates. He wasn't a boy, didn't have a father, didn't have an early history. didn't have a reputation. So what are we doing here with this character? Now we're given all of these traits: industrious, laconic, punctual, sedate, bold as a brigand, stiller than a fleet. Now, say what you want about some of these qualities. Maybe someone who is industrious, maybe someone who is punctual, sedate. Maybe these people aren't the most fun friends to be around. But you need one of those guys in your life, don't you? You need one of those guys who you break down on the side of the road, you have to make a call. Jerry knows how to change a tire and he'll be here. You need one of those guys. He's going to drop whatever it is he's doing and he's going to be right over and change that tire with you. This stanza here is building a character that you might not be friends with, but certainly you would like to know. Certainly you need one of these characters in your life, one of these individuals who is industrious, someone who is stiller than a fleet. We're building up this character to be not so bad. Someone who's there, someone who is necessary, someone who is a necessity in your life. Okay, great. So we have death characterized in a way that makes him necessary and makes him someone, you kind of need to know, right? There's no shortage of fantasy genre fiction about how awful it would be to live forever, how awful it would be to live for 200 years after you've gone through everyone you know, right? So these ideas are not with you need to die. Basically is what we're saying here is if you didn't know death and could not die, there would be extra suffering, right? And then Emily Dickinson, in so fleet a fashion, decides to build up that character that she convinced you to kind of like and accept as necessary, switch death out with Jesus. Well, because that makes sense. And then switch out the idea, the verb dying, the verb death, and put in on the receiving end of that a little bird. Just a little bird, a little baby bird. Robin. Robin after robin smuggled to death. So in the end there, Emily Dickinson switches out the character of death with someone you're supposed to like, and then switches out the fact that, well, death is industrious and punctual, very cold, distant words. And on the receiving end of that death, tons of robins. I mean, just robin after robin after robin. Dead, smuggled to rest. This poem has such a way of reeling you along, slapping you in the face, kicking you back down the stairs, just to pull you up again. It's a wild set of turns. It's an M. Night Shyamalan type of poem. Once you get to the end, I had no idea Jesus was going to be in this. I didn't know he had a cameo here. Bruce Willis's career was almost over when M. Night Shyamalan swooped in and picked him up. The Sixth Sense. Is that what Emily Dickinson is attempting to do here? Save the Jesus career? Emily Dickinson personified death in her poems very often. It's interesting in light of this poem to go back and switch those characters out. That's all I have for this poetry discussion. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other literature fans. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, literature is the only thing I talk about on this channel, dropping multiple videos every single week. And I hope to have you back for the next one.